So you've got your Google Analytics custom event set up through Google Tag Manager. Now you want to be able to display that data on a report that's easy to read, easy to understand, and looks great, matches the brand, everything. So in order to make that happen, we're not going to use Google Analytics built-in reports. We're going to use a tool called Databox. As a Databox Premier partner, I've got tons of experience using the platform, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this in less than 20 minutes. Let's jump in. We've got our data coming in from Google Analytics. We've got custom events set up via Google Tag Manager. Now we want to be able to display those numbers in an easy to read, easy to understand report. I'm not a big fan of the Google Analytics built-in report, so we're going to use a tool that I use called Databox. Databox gives you the ability not only to pull in data from Google Analytics, but from hundreds of different platforms. So Google Analytics, Google Search Console, MailChimp, HubSpot, all kinds of different platforms. So we're going to be using this today to set up a report that looks like this. So this is a real report for a real client. It's a Mexican restaurant in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm gonna walk you through here what's on this page, and then we're gonna go back and build this, recreate it. So the first square up here says active users, and that's over the course of the whole month, right? And obviously, if you hover over it on this live version of the report, it gives you kind of like more details. But what I send to my clients is a PDF, so that's another option for us too. So we can see here that it has the active users. Underneath that, popular pages. So by page view, it's showing us what are the most popular pages for this past month. And what I love is that it gives you these little up and down arrows saying whether that has gone up since last month or down. For example, like on the employment pipeline, you could see this number 17 that it's gone up. A pipeline is one of the ways that we can display data within Databox to make it easier for our end user to understand, right? So instead of just showing this is how many page views we had, this is how many applications we've had, which is a custom event that we'll look at right now. It's going to give us a conversion rate of 12.5%. And you can add multiple steps to this. So your pipeline might be 5 different steps. And so you get down to, you get a percentage for each step, and then you get the overall conversion rate. So I think this is super helpful to be able to use for clients to get an idea of ROI. So in this instance, we've got employment pipeline and party room pipeline. This is for people booking their party room at the restaurant. This is for people submitting employment applications, so it's helpful to see that. Overall page views, that's built in. These 3 are all custom events that we set up. So phone calls, so if someone clicking on the phone number on their website. Email, same thing, clicking on their email address. And then the third one is address lookups. So if people click on their address, it'll open like in Google Maps or Apple Maps. Those clicks are also tracked via Google Tag Manager. And the last one down here, this is actually data pulled in from Google Search Console. So this can be helpful to see just for kind of showing more of an SEO standpoint, right? So we've got clicks, impressions, average click-through rate, and the average position. And so this is kind of just a very high-level overview of what we're getting as far as SEO goes. So this is the report that we're going to recreate today. All right, so let's go into Google Analytics real quick just to check on our custom events. So you can see here we've got reservation clicks, address lookups, phone calls, online orders. All of these are custom events that we've been able to set up inside of Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. And then email is that last one. So we're going to jump into Databox. I'm going to click Create New Dashboard so I can show you how this works from the beginning. Now, the first thing you notice is the color. So we can go in and change visuals here. I'm going to make that red on your visual. Up here, you could change the chart theme. So if you want, like the one in the example has an orange chart, or you can do a grayscale, which would just be white. You can add a background image. One thing I'll note on background image is if when it exports to PDF, it doesn't carry that across. But for like the live preview, like what I just showed you, that will show. And then your company logo is cool too because that adds it down here to the bottom. So right here it has a Databox logo. So if I go to company logo, browse from the computer, we're gonna grab this guy, click save. So let's click here. We're gonna just call this a restaurant review. All right, So our first, if we look back at our example, our first one up here is active users. So what we want to do first is connect to Google Analytics. So we have that data. So we're going to go into here. It says all data sources. I already have Google Analytics 4 connected, but basically what you'll do is you'll click, you can scroll down here and see all the different available options, or you can search up here and see like that. And then you'll click on, like these ones say not connected, you'll just click on that one. In our case, we already have it connected, so I'm just going to select that. And these are all the metrics that we can pull from. We can also build custom metrics and calculated metrics. It's a little bit more advanced, and that's a higher paid tier. So we're not going to even get into that in this tutorial. But what we want is active users. So we're going to grab this, drag it across. And for this one, you can see the little icon next to it is like a line chart, right? So this one's already giving us what we need. There are different, what do they call them? They call them visualization types, right? So in here, this one's already the one that we want. But say we wanted that metric, but in a different visualization type, you can go into here and see all the options for how you want to visualize that data. So there's a bar graph, there's a line graph, there's tables. I don't even use all of these. So there's all kinds of different visualization types. In this instance, we just dragged it straight from the metric library. But like say it gives us the table here, but what we want is a graph. We can create that ourselves, and I'll show you an example of that right now. So the next piece that we need to create is this popular pages. All right, so the next one we want to do is this active, it's not active users, it's page views. We're going to scroll. We want to find page views. Here we go. Views by page title. I think this is the one. This is going to give us a nice little table with the top kind of 3 or 4 pages as far as page views go. All right, so that's perfect. One of the things that I want to point out on that we can do is customize these different blocks, right? So it says block title. So it says views by page title. I'm just going to say popular pages. Sometimes the label that comes across from like Google Analytics isn't something that all business owners or clients are going to understand. So I like to kind of dumb it down just to make it as simple as possible to understand. So popular pages makes sense. One of the things you could do is change, if we want that popular page to be bigger, down here at the bottom it says font size. We can click large. The problem with that is since our titles are so long, it's putting them on 2 lines, which makes we only get 2 here. I'm going to leave it at normal so that we can at least see the top 4. You can also limit the number of rows to 4. So if we wanted to say top 3, you'll see how it updates and it only shows the top 3. I think in most cases we should get all 4. The other thing that's very important with this is your date range, right? So if we scroll down right here, you'll see that it has, this is the metric. So if we click on this, it gives us that same list of all the metrics. We're happy with what we have. Dimension is where you can, like, say you wanted to pick a specific page, you could click on one of those. That wouldn't really make sense for this example, but you have that option. Date range is what matters for right now. So we want to go through here. Some of these are paid, some of these are free. We want to go for last month. So what I do is I send out a report on within the first days of the next month, right? So say we're in March and this is a February report, I want to do last month. So as soon as we get to March, it's going to show me all the data from last month. The only problem with this is if you want to show live data, like if your client has like a screen up in their office that has like the live report going, which is what I showed you earlier, then you're going to want to have maybe last 30 days or month to date. So you do have those options. And then you can see here it says previous period. So we want to compare with the previous period. So if we're going from last month, which was February, and we want to compare that with the previous period, which was January. So that's going to give you these, like the up and down little arrows right here at the end, the comparisons. So we can also add a total row since this is a table. Like if we wanted a total, it wouldn't make sense in this instance, but we're going to skip that. You can sort by value, makes the most sense, right? So having the top one to the smallest one. Sort order, ascending, descending, and font size I already mentioned. So it's pretty cool how you can kind of customize that. We're going to go towards the next one, which is a pipeline. So we got to build 2 pipelines on this example. So let's jump into our visualization types, because there's not really any pipelines built in with most of them because that's more of a custom thing. So we're going to click pipeline. Pipeline and funnel are similar, but I tend to use pipeline more than the funnel option just because it tends to work better for what I need to visualize. All right, so I'm going to click on our pipeline, and you'll see there's nothing in there. We have to build this out ourselves. So you'll see all this kind of same stuff that we just talked about, and then down here at the bottom where it says steps, that's where we have to do kind of some building. We're going to title this employment pipeline, and then we're going to go down to impressions. We have page views and we have applications. So the first one here says impressions. We want to change that to page views, and then under metric, we're going to pull in Google Analytics 4 doesn't call them page views, it calls them views. And then it's, we're just going to go with overall views. All right, so it's saying 11,000. That's good. All right, and now we want to click down here where it says add a step. This one is going to be applications, right? So this is people who are actually submitting an employment application. We just have a web form, I think. Actually, we have a type form on the table on the website. So we're going to go with event, because we have a custom event set up for that. Event count by event. And then this is where you can use that dimension, right? So instead of just counting all of the events on the website, we're going to find the one that we need for this specific instance, which would be, I don't even see it here. It's been a while since I set this one up. Let's check what we're using. Applications. I thought we had just set up a click event, but maybe I am wrong. So reservations, online orders here. I'm going to close this out, open our original one here, and see what we're pulling for that so that we have the right information. So Typeform is another platform that I use. I wonder if we're pulling that directly from there. It's from Zapier. Okay, so that's why we had the issue. So this one is pulling from Zapier. We have a counter set up for that. I don't know if I'm going to go into that. That's kind of outside of the scope of this tutorial. But basically, there is an option for if you connect to Zapier, every time that Zap runs, it will increment a counter, and then you can pull that in. So that's what that's doing. So let's go in here. I can connect. Since I already have that set up on here, I'm just going to go under data source. I can see the Zapier option. So this is where it's going to give me that number that I need. There we go. So as far as Zapier goes, all I'll say is that you can set it up to where you connect to your Zapier account. It will ask you for an API key, but it walks you through the process of getting that API key from Zapier. Once it's connected with Databox, then you're able to set up different they call it a counter, and it just increments every time that Zap runs. So we have a Zap set up. I don't even remember what the Zap is. It must be it's a type form that we're using to collect that employment application. And then once that type form runs, we have a Zap that's triggered by that type form that increments this counter in Databox. That's how it works. So the same thing is true for our party room. So we're going to set this to last month. And then what I'm going to do, since we're using pretty much the same format, is I'm going to just duplicate this. And we're going to call this party room pipeline. And we want to end the same data board. So we'll just click duplicate here. There we go. So this is set up. Now all I need to do is change this. So from employment application, we're going to select party room reservation. All right, I think that is it for that one. Let's double check those numbers. So we had 7 and 45. Okay, I see what the issue is. This one, when it says page views, we're actually not doing the entire website. We're doing the employment landing page and the party room landing page. So that's why our conversion rates are so low on this one. So let's go back into here. We're going to click on views. So we do want to go views by page title. And then for our dimension, we'll select employment. It's this one. It's become a member of our team. Let's see. There we go. Much better. And then for the party room, same thing. We're going to go to views. We're going to select views by page title. And then here we'll select this one, party room. So now that's going to update. That significantly increases our conversion rates, which is great. So that looks pretty good. Let's jump back over here. So then we've got these 4 little boxes with single numbers in them. Let's do those. So page views, that one's easy because that's a standard metric. So we're going to go to visualization types, number, and we're going to just drag this across over here. And then we can just resize these boxes. So I'm going to click on this, then I can resize it because I need 4 of them to fit up here in the corner. So this was called page views. So this is overall page views. All right, so we're going to click type views. Since this is overall page views, we don't need to select any of the other ones. We'll just click views in general. There we go. I'm going to set large because so you can have the title be a little bit bigger. And then again, we can set this to last month. Let's duplicate this. Next one is going to be phone calls. So we'll type phone calls here, duplicate. We'll drag this up here. Now for this one, it's pretty much the same, but we're going to go to, this is actually an event. So we're going to go event, event by event. And then in the dimension, we're going to find phone call. That's set up through Google Tag Manager as a custom event in Google Analytics. There we go. So we got our phone calls. Duplicate that again. We're going to do emails. So we just have to select that from here, email. And then we'll do the last one is, what was it? It was application clicks. Address lookups, sorry. Address lookups. This just means when they click on an address link. So these last 3 are not built in, like those are custom events that we set up. So just a note on that. And you can watch our video on Google Analytics and custom events in Google Tag Manager to figure out how to do all that. And okay, so the last piece down here I mentioned was Google Search Console. So that's just another data source. And that the way Databox charges you is by the amount of data sources that you're connecting to. So in this example, we've got 3, right? So we've got Zapier, which we just talked about. We've got Google Analytics, and now we're going to do Google Search Console. Their free account, like say you're doing this just for yourself, your own personal website, or if your client has their own, is going to pay for their own, it will, I think for 3 data sources, you can get that for free. Anything more than that, then you have to enter into a paid plan. So let's see. Click metric library. We need to find Google Search Console. Oh, wrong place, sorry. So we're going to click on this and then search for Search Console, if I can spell it right. All right, so we have this one connected already. We're going to click on that. Now here is we want to find this one. It's called Performance Overview. I like to use this one because it's just like the top 4 kind of basic things that you are looking for normally from search. So what I often do is I'll create a separate report just for SEO. But in this example, I think it's more of a basic site. They don't need as much detail on that. So this gives us exactly what we need. We just got to set it to last month. All right. And there we go. Our report has been built. So you see that only took what? About 20 minutes to put that together. It's not very difficult to do, and you can customize it exactly the size, the colors, the data, the time frame. I think it's the best tool out there for building these reports. One of the other things that you can do now that this is built is if you click on more, you can click schedule a snapshot. So what I like to do with this is I'll enter my email here. I'll have it go out on the first day of the month as a PDF, and you can send it directly to your client. I have it sent to me because I like to send them a little bit of feedback on the report with some like key takeaways. So you can do that, and then that way every month it just automatically generates that report, sends it to you, and you're good to go. The other option is to use this live URL, which you can just copy and paste, so that way they could click on it anytime they want, or they can have it. One of the other options is to post it like on a TV. Let's see. That's not in here. I think you have to go back to this screen, then click more. I forgot how to find it. Is it? Oh, it's under share. So under share, you'll see it says shareable link, send to email, send to Slack, embed. I guess if you wanted to put it like on your website, or stream to TV. And so they have an option there for being able to stream it to a TV. So there's tons of cool options for ways in which you can display this information in a clear, concise, beautiful way for your client. I hope you found this video helpful. Check out Databox.com so you can set up custom data boards just like we did in this video. And if you need help doing that, you can feel free to reach out to me. I am a Databox Premier Partner. You can find me on their website directory, and you can also send me a DM, and I'll be happy to walk you through the process. Make sure to check out our other videos on Google Analytics, converting to Google Analytics 4, setting up custom events in Google Analytics, and you will be on your way to getting the numbers that you need.